Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new YouTube video. Now, before any of you ask, I just want to say the reason that I'm wearing all these clothes is that it's pretty cold in here, okay?
Okay.
Having said that, I want to get into today's topic, which is the reason I believe the upcoming year, 2021, is going to be the best year in which you can start a social media marketing agency. Now, I want to start off by saying this is not going to be some long sales speech or a long ramble about, all the reasons that I believe you should start a social media marketing agency, essentially trying to convince you. Instead, it's going to look at the current world situation and perspective on that, and having that in mind, why I believe now is the right time to start an agency. Okay, so I want to start off this video with a little bit of a story. Okay, so I just came back from Milan, Italy yesterday. A lot of you guys know that my family actually lives in Milan, so I was down there visiting them for 3.5 weeks, okay, almost a month. Over Christmas I was down there visiting them, and I just came back here to Copenhagen, which is where I live. And upon arrival, all the restaurants were closed because of Corona. But about a couple of days after me arriving in Milan, the government actually allowed the restaurants to open back up. Okay, now this only lasted for like a week or a week and a half, and then all the restaurants had to close back down. But essentially, my father, before the restaurants closed down, my father had gotten quite good friends with a restaurant owner who runs a restaurant just around the corner from where we live. And so we decided, to go down there on the first day of them opening up again to show our support. Now, keep in mind, these restaurants, they were only allowed to open up for lunch, okay? So not for dinner, only for lunch between 11 and 2, I believe. And so, yeah, we go down there on the first day of them being allowed to open back up, which was a Monday. And we go down there to eat lunch. Now, we went pretty late, okay? So around 1:30 or 1:20. So we were actually the last customers to arrive for lunch on that particular day. Now, the reason my dad had gotten such good friends with this restaurant owner is that he is extremely passionate about what he does, okay? He delivers an incredible service. Like I honestly, I can't even do it justice by explaining it to you, okay? His service is incredible, and at certain points it was even, a little bit over the top. You're sitting there thinking like, wow, this guy really cares about us, okay? But yeah, honestly, it was a great experience. Their food was absolutely amazing. I had this lasagna, which apparently takes them like 3 days to make.
The flavor, oh my God, it's so real. Like,
yeah, it was absolutely an amazing experience, and he was so service-minded, giving us all sorts of gifts and free stuff. Granted, obviously, he's also doing this because he wants us to keep supporting him, and he's a restaurant owner in a very desperate time, so he has to do everything he can to make customers come back. Obviously we got to keep that in mind. But having said that, he's an absolutely amazing restaurant owner who's extremely passionate about what he does. Now, the whole point of this story is that, at the end of our stay, we asked him, so how many customers came in today? And he very bluntly said he had 8 customers, okay? So 4 tables were filled up with 2 people each time, okay? So for the entire day, for the 3 hours they were allowed to open up their restaurant, they were able to fill out 4 tables with a total of 8 customers, okay? Now, this is Italy, and this is lunch, okay? If you've never been to Italy, you wouldn't know that eating lunch in Italy is extremely cheap, okay, compared to what you're getting. You're getting like top-notch food, but for like 10, 20 euros a person, okay? So if we set the bar high and say that, each of these 8 customers spend 20 euros each, which, to be honest, they probably spend less. But let's say that each person spent 20 euros. Then in that entire day, he would have made 8 times 20 euros, which is 160 euros in total revenue, okay? That's not even, and that's on a day where he's at work, he has a chef at work, and he has a waiter at work, okay? That's literally, 3 full-time staff. Well, full-time in the sense that they were allowed to open up for 3 hours, okay? What I'm saying is that, he has 3 people on duty for the entire duration of this time. He has a restaurant that he needs to pay rent for. He has products that he needs to pay for in order to be able to serve them. And on this entire day, they made 160 euros in revenue, okay? Now, at this point, it should make sense to you that he lost money on that day, okay? He's not going to be able to pay himself the waiter and the chef and all the products and the rent for his restaurant for 160 euros. That's simply not possible, okay? So in the grand total, he probably lost like 200 euros just by staying open for that day. And to me, that it's crazy. I was thinking about this for the rest of the day, right? There is a highly experienced and educated restaurant owner who really knows how to run an establishment, who has hired a chef with years and years of education. Like, this chef was a proper chef. He was really making extraordinary food, right? And then obviously an experienced waiter, right? We have 3 full-time people with years of experience and education on their job, and in the end they're losing money. And I was really feeling bad because it's just not fair, you know, taking the current situation of the world into perspective. It's come to a point where, and I'm not gonna get political at this point, but I just want to say it's basically come to a point where the politicians choose who dies and who lives. Now, I don't mean this in the literal sense. I mean that it's come to a point where the politicians say, okay, in order for us to stop Corona, everyone's going to have to sacrifice their businesses, right? Everyone in the restaurant industry, to give you an example, you know, like 90% of old restaurants in New York City, for example, I just heard this, like 90% of good restaurants are going to be forced to close, right? And it's going to be probably the same thing in Milan. Probably not 90%, but so many of the good old traditional restaurants that have been there for, you know, 50, if not 100 years are going to be forced to close down, right? And so that's what I mean by the politicians are literally choosing who gets to live and who dies, right? Again, I don't intend for this to become political in any way. I'm gonna get back on track now. I just think it's absolutely insane how I could be sitting there, and this is not to brag, but on that particular day, you know, where I went to that restaurant, my business made over 5,000 euros in profit just on that day. Okay, I believe it was like 7,500. Okay, 7,500 euros in profit just on that day.
Okay.
And that's literally just me. Sure, I have two team members now, but they're not full-time employees. You know, I'm not paying them the same monthly salary every single month, right? They're both contractors that I'm paying per task. Granted, I'm paying them extremely well, you know, upwards of 7,000 euros per month. Like, I'm paying them incredibly well. I'm just saying, here I am, you know, 19 years old without any experience. I've been running my agency for 2 years to this point, and the business model is it's working better than ever. I don't mean to brag by any means, but 2020, despite Corona having come into the world, 2020 has been the most profitable year for my agency ever. We've signed more high-tier clients than ever before. You know, these clients that pay 4,000 or 5,000 euros and above. You know, that's what we really started getting into in 2020. It's been an absolutely insane year for my business, and you know, just looking at the projections and my forecasts and my scaling plans, like, I can already see that 2021, the year that we're stepping into now, is going to be my whole life and my business. You know, without trying to jinx anything, I can quite confidently say that everything's gonna level up in 2021. It's gonna be the most amazing year in terms of business. And again, that's just me, a 19-year-old agency owner without any education. All I have is a drive to build a successful business, and a drive to be independent, and a drive to stray away from, you know, social norms and the traditional paths. And this is not because I'm a rebel. It's not because I have this drive to be different. It's just because I really, you know, throughout the past couple of years, I really just stepped back, looked at the traditional system, you know, traditional educational system, social norms, what your peers and what your parents tell you to do. And I've just stepped back and taken a look at that from like a macro perspective. And it's just occurred to me that there are so many things that we think are right that are actually just straight up wrong, you know, plainly wrong.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all...
And sure, these things are going to be the right thing to do for the average person. This is going to come off annoying. I mean, you know, most people in society, but for me and for a lot of the people who are watching this video, because I know that a lot of you who are watching this video are like me, for us, it's not necessarily wise to do what everyone tells you to do, okay? I'm very confident in saying that 2021 is going to be the best year in which you can start your agency. I have insane scaling plans for the coming years, for the coming year, and I just know it's just going to be, it's going to get better and better from here. And you can get a long college education, educate yourself for 7 years. There's so many people on earth who have done that who don't have a job right now, right? There's so many highly educated people on earth right now who simply are at a loss of a job right now. They can't get a job. They can't go to work because of what the government tells them to do, right? The government has deemed it unsafe to go to work. Okay, so now you can't go to work. You can't make money. You're doomed. Whereas I'm sitting here, I can work from any apartment, any house, anywhere, as long as I have my laptop and Wi-Fi. And I know that sounds cliche, but it's the honest truth. Okay. And it's absolutely insane. 3 full-time employees running a very high-end restaurant who serves amazing food opens up their first day and loses money, right? It's insane. And on that particular day, like, I don't want to brag, but I made a lot of profit on that particular day. And it's just me, 19-year-old me without any education. I just have a drive. I just wanted to do this. And yeah, why not? The academy has been growing crazy lately, and the academy members are doing very well. So what I'll do right now is I'll just open up my camera roll here, and we can go through a couple of the screenshots I've taken in the group the last couple of days. I should now be recording. Let's see what we have here. Okay, this first screenshot is literally just, them motivating each other for 2021. There's such good vibes in there. 2020 was my warm-up. Let's see what else. Okay, an academy member just getting a Rolex right there. Adam up there saying, dream client, I'm beyond happy and grateful. New client from Switzerland. Alexander saying, I just closed at a 3,000 euro client. A couple Danish messages right here. Awesome day, feels good ending it with 2,000 euros in retainers. $2,100 in extra retainers. Guys, like, these were just a couple of screenshots I was flipping through. It's just to say I'm so grateful for how well my business is doing and how well all the the agencies of the members of the academy are doing. It's just crazy. I see everyone leveling up and everyone's agencies just flourishing, and we gotta be grateful. I'm not by any means saying that I'm a better business owner than this restaurant owner, right? I'm just saying I'm in the right industry right now, and clearly he's not.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have the mind of a master. I have the mind of a mastermind.
And to a long extent, that literally just comes down to luck, right? I've been born, after the 2000. I've been born with the internet. I've grown up with this. I've had the opportunity of looking at it from perspective where I've been able to see, wow, I could actually start a business online, right? Whereas, a lot of these older restaurant owners, they've been born in a different era where it's just been like so much more, traditional. There's been so many more norms that you had to stick to, and if you didn't, you'd be kind of fucked. I feel very sorry for these restaurant owners whose businesses are just crashing, right? I personally know a previously very successful restaurant owner here in Copenhagen who owns restaurants in multiple countries, and he's just had to shut down 2 of his restaurants, okay? And his final restaurant, which is here in Copenhagen, it's running on like 20 to 30%. For the year to date in 2020, they've done like 20 to 30% of the revenue that they did last year. Okay, and if everything, obviously now he's closed because he has to, and if everything keeps going like this, he'll have to shut down his final restaurant, and his life will literally be fucked. And it's just not fair that someone gets to decide that all like 20 years of hard work just has to go down the drain. I feel so sorry for these people, and at the same time I feel so grateful that I'm in this industry. So as I said, this was not like a long sales speech or a long sales ramble about why you should start an agency. It was more just looking at the overall perspective of the world right now, how things are going for my agency, how things are going for the agencies of the members of the academy. And having that in your mind, looking at that perspective, I guess a lot of you can see why starting an agency in the upcoming year 2021 is a rather intelligent move. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope it provided you with some perspective if you're pondering whether or not to start an agency in the upcoming year. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you in the next one.